So the first level of actually being able to utilise the space is the ability to, first of all, understand what space your organisation actually has. And the level of knowledge that people or organisations have about their space changes from organisation to organisation. So and when we're talking about whether you know this information, it's really a question of whether you can easily lay your hands on this information and report on it, effectively at the touch of a button, so to speak, so that you really do have a handle on the space that you have. So whether you know how many buildings you have, the next level is whether you know what floors you actually have, so how many floors you might have. And then in terms of floors, actually what size are those floors? So you might know that you have 100 floors, but are those floors large floors, small floors, and so on? And then within those floors, what type of space do you have? So is that space predominantly offices? Is it open plan workstations, storage space, and so on? So it's really drilling down, as you see, in terms of the detail. And many organisations fall short as we go down this list. So the next level is actually the department's use of space. So whether departments actually, you know which departments are actually utilising and using particular space. And that can be either at a building level, at a floor level, or right down to a room or desk level. Okay? So it's really understanding that the accounts department either just uses a particular building, or perhaps it uses a particular floor, or whether it uses specific rooms and desks within that floor. So it's becoming more and more detailed as to the knowledge of what, the space that you actually have and use. And the next level, once you actually know what the allocation of space is, it's then a question of knowing what space is then vacant. And again, these can be at different levels. So you may well be aware that you have a vacant building, but are you also aware that a specific floor is vacant, or indeed down to a room and desk level, whether you know the vacancy there. And then finally, and this is one where many organisations don't really have this kind of information certainly to hand, is actually knowing how the space is utilised, again at the various different levels. And by utilisation, we're talking about, for example, the sales department might be allocated to a particular group of desks or group of rooms within a building, but are they actually using them? Are they there 5 days a week, or are they just using them 2 or 3 days a week, and so on? And again, that can be tracked all the way down to a room or desk level. So hopefully you can see that by having this information and understanding this information, you can actually start to get a handle on what space you have, how it's used. Okay. So the next aspect of this is actually measuring space. And again, this really comes down to actually understanding what space that you have. So when you have particular rooms, understanding the size of those rooms and the usage of them. By being able to track this, as you'll see shortly in the demonstration, you get to get more of a feeling in terms of are particular buildings or floors more or less efficient than other buildings and floors. And once you have that understanding, then you can use that to actually change your space usage to be more efficient, which reduces space and obviously therefore costs. So the overall process or the flow is basically starting off by recording what buildings and floors you have, having actual up-to-date and maintained floor plans of those drawings so that you can measure that space, then defining space outlines on those floor plans so you can really categorize space to particular areas. So there we have categorizing the space, and from that the ability to then actually report on the space and then use that information to adapt the space and improve efficiency. So you can see how it's a cycle of process where by understanding and measuring your space accurately, you can actually start to use that information to improve your space usage. So we're just going to go into a quick demonstration now, and we're really going to look at improving the efficiency of the space, identifying vacant or underutilized space, and also then managing and streamlining the moves process.